Hello and welcome to SAFC Fan TV. I'm your host Conrad, and we've got Wayne. Are you this side or are you this side? I don't know where my camera's going, so you're in one direction anyway. yeah. How you doing today, mate?
I'm not too bad. Not too bad. All good in the world of Sunderland, so it's all good, isn't it? Nice being a Sunderland fan and having something nice to talk about for a change.
We don't have any clickbait or rage handles or anything in them now. It's actually just going well, isn't it? Like
the top of the league. I understand.
Nothing really to moan about, really. You know, it's been lovely, hasn't it? But I noticed
we'll always find something to moan about, I'm sure.
Oh, I will find something, and I'm sure comments will be like, "You said 3 weeks ago this was that," and it's like, yeah, lots happened since then, hasn't it? Like, really, at that time you didn't say anything. 4 weeks later, now it hasn't happened. You're calling me out on it, yeah. So, So I wanted to get your opinion because we haven't seen you on the channel for a little bit. Busy man. So, Luton. Last Wednesday, I wanted to get your thoughts on the game at Kenilworth Road, or the Battle of Kenilworth Road, as we call it now.
The battle, after the first 2 minutes, when I thought we played really well, and we should have scored, Dan Neil had a cracking chance, didn't he, in the first couple of minutes. After that, we got absolutely battered for that first half. I mean, when you get into Luton, you know what you're going to get, didn't you? It's long balls, it's big, physical, and you have to stand up and be ready for the test. And I thought, although we were lucky probably not to get in a goal down, that offside was marginal. I think if it guns against you, you're fuming. If it guns for you, you're happy, aren't you? So it was one of them. But a 0-0, I couldn't have been more happy gunning at 0-0. And you're hoping you're going to come out second half and tweak a few things, and we'll kind of need a goal, and that's kind of exactly how it panned out. I mean, even the first 5-10 minutes of the first half, the second half, they were still coming on strong. But once we got the goal, I think the game kind of changed a bit. We grew in confidence. But in typical Sunderland fashion, a striker who hasn't scored all season play against Sunderland, and you know what happened. So once out of Bayo got the equaliser, you fear the worst. But fair play to the lads. They battled again, and the 2 goals that we scored were tremendous. Like, I mean, Riggs' goal. The calmness and composure he showed, and Mundle was just, I don't know what to say, Jack Clark-esque. It's now Mundle-esque, isn't it? Because it's kind of, he does it himself, so I couldn't have been more happy. I mean, people might say we're fortunate, but I think it was a battling performance, and, you know, like I said in my review video, in seasons gone by, would have lost that game, because would have crumbled and folded, like the playoff semi-final a couple of years ago, would have folded and got beat. So, credit to them all, young squad, young lads, for standing up to that test and then going again and getting a winner. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, like you say, I think we seemed to almost relax when Riggs scored. It was almost like we've got him. We're ahead. It's like even though we've ridden the storm out, and now we're actually in the lead, and they have to now chase us. And like you say, they got one back, and Sunderland of old for years, decades, would have always just been like, right, well, here comes the onslaught. Can we hold on? And they just picked themselves up and went, all right, we'll just carry on and do what we do. We know we'll get chances again with the players that we've got. And like you say, Mundle just sort of does what Jack Clark used to do, but Mundle does better now, and just finds a bit of space on the edge of the area and rifles one in the far corner. Like, it was
fantastic.
Quality.
I mean, that was probably, going into the game, you probably think that's going to be one of our toughest away games of the season. You know, horrible ground, tight ground, horrible team to play against. Like being back in League One, you know what you're going to face is just get the ball and hook it forward.
We haven't had a good record against them in any of the years we've played them recently. I think I remember the last the last proper result we had down there was it Roy Keane's promotion
5-0.
5-0, yeah, where it was just they were on their way out of the division and we were flying up to the next one. So
wasn't that a plastic pitch? Was it a plastic pitch them days? I know. I think it might have been.
Might have been at that point. I'm not sure. But when you were, what was it? We were already. I think we had fans in every corner of the ground that game. We had more there than they did. I seem to remember. So it's been a long time. But I completely agree. I think that, you know, we may rode our luck with that decision in the first half, and I think I said on Sunday, by the letter of the law, it is right that it's offside. But it's one of them, like you say, that if that was against us, we'd be absolutely fuming, going, but it's not him. Like, he doesn't touch it. It's got the other lad, and you know, and would have been a completely different game at that point. I think 'cause it was right on half time, wasn't it? As well, that would have just been a bit of a sickening blow to takes this before. Just on Luton as well, Patterson play and then the injury, which we'll of course come on to in the Oxford game. What did you make of him in that game?
I was disappointed with him, to be fair. I mean, I know he made a couple of great saves, but when you're playing it, you're under that much pressure, and you need a calm head, and your kicking needs to be spot on from a goalkeeper. But instead of playing the ball out wide, he just kept on lumping it downfield and giving them the ball back. And it was coming straight back. I mean, the one thing that I was happy with and what I praised him for, which I thought at the time, was his shithouse tactics of keep on going down injured. Turns out, no, he was injured. But I think in the first half, when he first went down, that might have been a bit of both because we were under the cosh. And like we've seen loads of teams do to us time and time again, these tactics will go down, play injury, so that the manager can get some tactics on board and tweak things. And I thought that's what he'd done. Turns out he wasn't. But I don't know. I just think he's kicking, as we've said for weeks and months. It needs to be better.
It was, and I think their pitch is a lot smaller. It seemed like on there as well. So I don't know if it was just he didn't quite get his range in because at home, I don't really see that being an issue for him in any game we play at our place. You know, and that's a wider pitch, longer pitch maybe, and maybe the fans aren't right on top of you, so he can just get his range in a bit. But yeah, you say like every time he was going out wide, it would go out to the stands. Every time he was hoofing it forward, or looping it forward, I should say, it was just going back to their goalie. You know, we weren't getting it, and then when we were then trying to do short passing, they were nicking it off us in the sort of final third, especially in that first half. So yeah, we probably did ride our luck, like you said, but credit to him and credit to Lebris taking the piss, top of League One, League One, the Championship. We rose, we found another gear, found another level, and just sort of went, okay, we'll take the lead, and now you've got to chase us for it instead of just trying to beat us.
Defensively, I thought we were tremendous. I mean, Chris Mepham, what a signing he's been. He's been absolutely tremendous, and he never gets flustered. He's always calm. He always looks like he's got time on the ball, and I must say, as Bournemouth must have some pretty good defenders if they're letting him go out on loan.
I know it's going to be. It's this worst thing of you don't want to fall in love with a lone player, and we've got two of them at the minute that we absolutely adore. But the better they do, the more they're going to cost us if we actually do go in for him at any point. We asked this on Sunday, or I asked Terry and Philly of it there. Elise and Ballard are fit tomorrow, let's say. What's your back two?
I'll keep it the same.
Yeah, I think that was the general consensus with us as well, because 09's been fantastic, all season.
And I think having that experience of Mepham next to him has made a massive difference.
Yeah.
This season, he's had one booking, and that was after the game against Luton. He's had no bookings this season.
No, I didn't know that, actually. No cards for him at all.
He's not diving into tackles anymore, and he's striding out from the back, and he looks a lot more calm and a lot more mature. Whether he's
if you'd have asked me before this how many cards he got this season, I'd have guessed like 4, maybe. Must be close to a suspension or something like that. I didn't realise he only had the one for jumping on top of the the pile. It was funny though. It was worth it if you're going to do it.
Typical Liverpool. Now, I mean, to be fair, there was hell on one after the final whistle, and it just shows you that they didn't like it, and they didn't like being stood up to.
No, but I mean, you think to the way their tactics were going, if they'd have won, and then we'd have got a bit argy at the end of it, it would have been like completely shoe on the other foot. They'd have been like, oh, look at them, you can't handle it when a physical team does this, that, and the other. But because we rode their tactics out and sort of did shithouse them a little bit as well while they were doing it to us, they were a bit like, they couldn't handle the fact that we'd done it to them or were getting away with it. Of course, the referee's decision and the linesman's decision, for the offside probably didn't help that sort of thing for them. But yeah, that's fair enough. That's kind of what we all said on Sunday as well. I think the bit that was the biggest highlight for us was obviously Patterson being really injured, not actually pretending, or maybe pretending a bit, but we said on our stream, me and Mike, that he looked like he was limping a bit and it was his thigh, but we thought, he's just one of them. He carried on because we thought, is he going to go off at half time?
Well, he was limping money, but he was still taking the kicks, which I thought, if you've got a muscle strain or it's really bad, you will get the defenders to take the goal kicks, wouldn't you? But he was still taking them, so I thought, it can't be that bad. But then obviously on Saturday when he's not on the team and you think, well,
Yeah, exactly. Moving on to Saturday then. So we get the team sheet out. No Patterson, with no prior warning, of course. So Moore's in place, and Roberts has come in for Brown, who we didn't even mention there, but Brown had a fantastic game against Luton. What was your thoughts when you saw the two changes, as it were?
Well, you're going to be shocked when you see Patterson. Obviously, he took a bit of a knock, but you're thinking it's not bad. But obviously, Moore, we've only seen him in that one Carabao Cup game, and to be fair, he didn't do too bad, bearing in mind the side that was in front of him. But he still could have done better with a couple of the goals he conceded. So, yeah, I was a little bit wary. But as it proved out, he had an out with D, really. And Roberts, I always thought Roberts would come back into the side. I think Chris Brown, do you mean? Alan Brown's coming back from injury in here as well. So to play a tough game against Luton and then play again Saturday, I might risking a bit too much. And I thought against Oxford, we need them attacking players, we need them wingers to try and break down a defensively minded side. So I think it was the right call for Roberts to come back in. I mean, I've been a bit critical of Roberts this season so far. Especially against Luton and Hull, he had loads of the ball and loads of space, but didn't out with it.
Yeah, I noticed that more against Hull. I think when I saw this, I only saw the second half of that game, but every time he got it, I was a bit like, right, and where's it going? Where are you moving this to? And it didn't ever seem to. Yeah, it didn't ever seem to. I think it was right what he did in terms of the. I know someone in our comments the other day said he wasn't dropped. It was tactical, and it's like, I think if you're not playing and you were a starter, it's a drop in regardless of what it is there. But you can phrase it how you like. It's how the player takes it, of course, on here. But to come straight back in is the main thing. So it clearly was like, against Luton, I'm going to need more physicality. And when they tire later on, that's when you'll be more beneficial to us. Whereas for Oxford, it was like, we need to get at them, and we need to get at them quickly. And that's what he identified. And it might have been, like you say, that Brown, we sort of go, actually, you've had a really physical game, and you've not long come back from the injury, as you say. Yeah, let's take you out of this at the moment and give you a bit of a rest, and we'll put Roberts back in there. And I thought Roberts did really well on Saturday. I thought it seems to be one of these things where it's like a running gag that he plays really well, but just contributes nothing. So harsh. I can say no goal contributions is what I'm trying to say. No assists, no goals. But we're all sitting there going, but it comes through him.
on that though, I think he's our joint assist maker. He's got 3 along with Dan Neil. And bearing in mind, 2 players that have both getting knocked from me in particular, Dan Neil as well, to be both kind of joint assist makers with 3 each. Just shows you I didn't know what we're talking about, really. But
so I'm trying to think of his 3 assists. He definitely got one against Sheffield Wednesday when he whipped the free kick in for Sirkin. That was definitely one for him there. I'm going through all the goals now. It was Sirkin for the first goal for 09, and then it was Bellingham for Clark's one. Then it was Roberts. Then it was 09. Then I'm going to have to go through. I'm not going through them all, guys. I'll try and do it Saturday.
He's definitely got 3 assists, but when they are, did he not get 2 in the first home game?
He might have done. I'm trying to think now, because the next one was Mayenda that bounced off of 09 to him. Yeah. Then Riggs' shot was blocked that went to 09, and then Clark got Mayenda's. So I think he got 1 there. And then Portsmouth.
I thought that in the first two home games, we scored 2 goals very similar.
He got burnt. He got the one for Mundell. So he had an awful shot that went back across the goal. Straight to Mundell, and then Mundell fired it in. So he got that, if you counted it as an assist. Such a bad shot, you assisted somebody else, And then I'm trying to think of the other one. I was about to say, what about Portsmouth? He plays it to Mayenda, who rolls it in, but then Brown technically nicks it. So,
possibly.
Could be that one. But I didn't know he'd got 3 already. So he's actually doing that. He had his free kick was a good effort as well down to the keepers. It's the first time I've seen a keeper in a long time not take that step behind the wall. Like, I know it's going this way. He just waited for it, and that's the reason he was able to get down and get to it.
Well, you know where we sit. So, the Job's goal against, was it a game at you under the Job's Rocket?
The Derby game. I was right behind it.
Yeah, so that free kick, we right behind it, and it was always in all day. You just seen the goalkeeper's arm come from behind the wall On the post was a cracking save.
Great save, wasn't it? And at that point, you were thinking, "Oh, are we going to score? Are we going to get one?" And I think Bowers said it. We all said it on the weekend. If we've got one criticism of the Oxford game, it's that we didn't score more in that first half.
Exactly, aye. When you're getting at 1-0, when you've been so dominant, you always think they can't be as bad second half. They're going to come out and they're going to have a right go. I mean, to be fair, I mean, Rigg was a good save. He should have scored. Roberts, Isidor should have scored a header. Could have been 4-0 at half time.
Isidor had another chance. He forced a save from the keeper on when he ran in behind, and that was a great shot on the angle from him as well. So
it was, so it could have been 5 actually.
Yeah, we could have been really far ahead, but I mean, Bellingham did get the breakthrough, and I don't really think they ever really threatened us after that. They had a P roller to Moore, and then they had that weird cross shot that sort of went straight down his throat, really, where he just smashed it at him. But the main thing I want to know, because obviously I know where you sit now, as we've just said, what was your angle like of that Isidor goal?
Oh, honestly,
been right behind it, wouldn't you?
From the actual breakdown of play. So when we win a back three here against the Dan Neil, and you see him look up, and you see Isidor's running, it's a perfect ball, but the volley, oh dear me, and it goes right in the corner, hits the bottom of the post and guns in. Tremendous, like absolutely unbelievable. The technique.
Then he knee slides right in front of you as well.
It's right there, and he starts kissing the pads and all. That's class. Like, have you seen? I don't know whether you've seen the picture on Instagram. There's a picture on Instagram where he's actually striking the ball and he's just off. His both feet are off the ground.
Yes, I have seen that. Yeah, he's in midair, isn't he? It's almost like he swings his leg, but then he stops just so it hits his foot with that momentum, and then just sort of like he's like midair prancing, but the ball's taking all the momentum from him. It was lovely. We were doing it on the stream, and we sort of went, "Oh, Dan Neil dinks it forward, Isidor," and I think we all just went, "Oh!" Like it wasn't actually like a yes, it's gone in or anything like that. It was just that's unbelievable. He's just like almost flying volleyed it into the corner.
That's it. I mean, you normally expect somebody to try and take a touch, didn't you, and then run in, but he just, I mean, his long legs, bang, and it's in, cracking.
Would you sign him? I know there's lots of talk about an agreement in place anyway, but
I mean, it's only early doors. I mean, it's only the first 12 games, but I mean, did you see his interview after the game? He absolutely loves it over here. He's like another Luke one, and he loves the club. He's loving the atmosphere. I mean, even singing the song after the game, you know. Yes,
I saw that. I loved every bit of that. I think I've recorded that on my phone just to go look at this, look at this man. It's amazing.
So well, me, I would give him. I would sign him if we possibly could. I mean, you probably got a better chance to sign them in January, but considering we brought him in not even as a striker, he was brought in to play from the left initially, and even when he went out there for the last 5 minutes before he came off on Saturday, he still looked decent out there. His pace.
Yeah, I know. I thought that his pace and his strides really helped us like drive forward from then. You were actually like, this is interesting playing a striker somewhere else. Like,
but when I saw Conley come, I thought we're going to get two up front here. That'll be interesting.
And then it was just, get out there, son. Do some running.
Out there.
I've seen something about the deal that he's on. Apparently, we're not even paying any of his wages at the moment either. Apparently, Zenit are still paying all of them, but there's lots going around on social media that's like, it's this much money, and now there's no fee, and then it's this, and then it's that. So I don't really know what to believe, because someone said on Sunday 6 mil, and then someone said 3.5, and then like you say, now we're not paying anything at all, and you just don't know where it is.
Would you think that we would have had a deal in place to pay £6 million?
Based on how all our transfers have gone prior to this, no, I don't think we would ever put down a guarantee like that. But then again, when I said it on Sunday, we've put down, was it 3.5 on Alexic, and he's our most expensive player under this regime, and he's not even kicked a ball for us yet. Unless the model did sort of move on from, a couple 100,000 here, free transfer there, but with a sell on to actually let's put some money down on people. And like say Alexic, we've done that in hopes that 6 months, 12 months, he'll be replacing a midfielder that might go. And then you go, right, Isidor, let's get him on loan, but our option, and let's put a price down on him as well. Because if he does well, we're getting him cheaper than his price is worth. And if it doesn't work out, we don't have to do it.
That's right. I mean, I suppose that was quite a good bit of business, but And Oxford overall, I think it's another one of them games where you're thinking typical Sunderland would probably slip up. They're going to come 11 men behind the ball. I think they drew the last 5 games before we played them.
Yeah.
But it was just a complete performance from start to finish.
It was. Did you see the? I think I put it in the group, and I took credit for it on Sunday. But the tweet about how Oxford said they should have brought their own ball to play with, they weren't getting near us. And then all the results were going our way as well. With everything else, it just seems to be all going quite nicely at the moment. It's scary.
Yeah, it's hard not to get carried away, but it's hard. You've just got to try and be realistic. And there's a long way to go. And I think a year ago, Preston had the same kind of start where they were top of the league and then drop off a cliff. But what I will say is, them last 3 games, Hull, Luton, and Oxford against 3 completely different styles of player, and we've had an answer for each one of them, which to me shows how tactically adept that Reeves Libris is. He's got a game plan for every team we play against. I mean, we should have took something from Plymouth, and we should have gotten something at Watford. We should be sitting here unbeaten, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, the Plymouth one was, I said, naivety for us to try and chase it when we got to 2-2, when we probably should have just taken it. And I don't know if that's players or management at that point, but you can just put a name on it. It's not offensive just to say we should have just settled at 2-2. But the Watford one, when you put it down to, it was just a bad tackle and a bad decision from one player, and that was it. Apart from that, we were on top in that second half, and if anyone was going to win it, it probably would have been us. And then, obviously, we got out of jail with Leeds. It's probably the best way of saying it.
On Leeds, I mean, what about the offside at Luton? The Leeds, their first goal was offside, so it swings and roundabouts.
If we really want to go down to it, Luton fans were saying there was a foul on Chong before, when Rio pulled him back, but there was a foul or a handball in the build-up to Leeds' second that no one picks up, and then they play on and score. So we've had a game where both have gone against us, but we got a draw out of it. And you've had a game where both have gone against you, but you lost. It can happen. It's football, isn't it? It's football. Just quickly on Isidor, I was saying this on Sunday. I keep saying that, but I like to repeat myself. So he went on loan to Zenit in 23 to 24 season. He played 14 times, scoring twice, and then they bought him for that. Now, he only then played 3 times before they've given him to us, as some would say there. To me, that screams off they had to buy him in like a Alvarez situation for us in the past, because there's no way you buy someone from a loan and go, let's just get rid of him. Let's let him out on loan for somebody else for a season. But within that time, in total, 17 games, 3 goals. With us, 8 games, 4 goals. I think he's clearly showing signs that he's happy to be here. And I know someone said it the other day, and I didn't really think about it like this. We have basically loaned a Champions League player to play in the Championship, really. But, I mean, Diallo was a cheat code as well for a long time for us as well. Like, when people go, they've unearthed this gem. It's like, Man United did pay 30 or 40 million for him. Like,
he's not an unknown, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. They clearly know he's good enough. Like, I just always think his goal record, like, when you look back, you go, it's not prolific. But with us, it seems to be starting that way. And all different kinds of goals, we were saying as well.
Aye, but I think, like us, when we first signed him, he wasn't bought as a striker. I think Zenit might have did the same. I think he played from the left when he was Zenit as well. So, but he's always said, I think it might have been Mike who said it, that he said he says he's a striker. And to be fair to him, he plays like a striker, because the goals he scored, I think the one was it Plymouth he got? Did he get one at Plymouth where he ran across the defender?
No, that was Watford. Watford was his little cheeky near post finish.
That was Roberts.
Yeah, that was it. Yes, you're right. There you go. There's his third.
Roberts crossed and he ran across his defender and put it in. So, like you say, he scored all kinds of goals, hasn't he? It's not like...
he's shown his cheat. He's shown his quick thinking and finishing for Watford. He's shown his pace against Hull. What's his other one? The one on the weekend, he's shown his amazing skill and technique. And then his other one, Derby, again, getting in front of his man, but a simple tap-in, really, just to be there first.
So, I mean, he's certainly got all the attributes of a striker and knows where the net is. So,
if he'd have just got that header, in the first half. Like, because I don't remember, people might not remember this. Do you remember the Plymouth game at 3-2? I think he missed a header at the end of the game as well, where it sort of came to him a bit quickly and he headed it down and it missed. Maybe heading's not his best. You've got to have a weakness somewhere, haven't you?
Well, if he will allow him the odd miss, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, especially if he scores screamers like that.
But I mean, there's people ask me, can they see him as a replacement for Ross Stewart? And I've kind of said he's not the same type of player as Ross Stewart.
No, he's definitely an end of the move kind of guy. Whereas I think Stewart was a build-up play, bring in the others, but also a fox in the box finisher. He was as well. But someone drew a comparison to Isidor's goal against Hull and Stewart against Chef Wed playoff semi-final, where he sprinted through past their defender and then took 2 goes at it, but got it past the keeper. But Stewart was deceptively quick as well, was the best way of saying it.
I think that somebody put a timer on Isidor's goal. I think it was something like 36 kilometers per hour when it was on.
The club did that. Yeah, and my favourite thing about that goal is, I've said it numerous times, but I like it, is he beat him once, let him get back in front of him, and then beat him again. Just that little feint and then the dink.
And the composure at the end just to finish it off. You know, that's
and the fact that he did like 4 celebrations, so ran off away from the Sunderland fans just to cup his ears at theirs, and then turned around to go and celebrate with our fans as well.
Classic shit, there was a wee. But I think I think that's the sign of a class player. You know, you see we've signed the Champions League player. Essentially, that's what he is. And we've bearing in mind we've still got Samir to come in, another Champions League player. Alexic. I don't know why, but I thought he might have even made some sub appearances, but he doesn't even brought him off the bench. Bit of a strange on that one, I think.
Yeah, it is. Sorry if you can hear some noise rattling around. The cat's fighting one of Isaac's got a ball pit, so he's flicking about one of them. Good skills, actually, though. Can you play up front? So anyway, Lexi, I thought he'd have got some minutes because Watson's got a couple of minutes as well recently, and I thought Watson would have come on against Luton, I think, when we were looking a bit tired, but I think they sort of went, it's really not the game to be throwing you in. And maybe that's the same with Alexic. He's only 18, I want to say, as well. But he does, I mean, when I was at the games you gave me the tickets for, he was obviously on the bench twice. But when he was warming up, you could clearly see he was laughing and joking with the team. He's definitely involved, and there was a picture of them at training today. And he's clearly really involved with the team and the group. So I think they're doing a Mundell thing where they're sort of like, we'll just ease you in, get you involved in it. And then maybe second half of the season, maybe next season, that's when you're going to be sort of in this and we go from there. Because, I mean, hopefully, touch wood, doesn't happen. You'd imagine people are going to be after Bellingham. You imagine people are going to be after Rigg. Potentially they're after Dan Neil as well. Like, we're not going to hopefully sell all 3 of them. And what have you. And hopefully we get promoted and we keep them all.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. If we do get promoted, I'm hoping that they will give us a year in the Premier League and then move on. We know if we get promoted, then we'll lose them. But I'd like to see us get promoted and have a season with them in the Premier League. I think it'd be good to see that.
Same. And I think at that point, you could see us actually going, let's get Isidor because we know he works in the team. Let's actually go for it. Let's cheekily go for Diallo if Man United aren't playing him. Like, because did you see the other day, he hadn't quite deleted all his Man United posts, but when their game was on, or just before the game, he was Instagramming pictures that he'd been watching our game. I know, and you're sitting there going, don't do this to me. Like, I love you.
Isn't there something about his contract, though? He hasn't actually signed a new contract for them yet, is he? And I think it runs out. Is it January next year, I want to see it? January?
Do you mean summer? They're normally in summer.
I'm sure it runs out quite soon. So there's there's all sorts of rumours flying around.
We need to be tapping him up. We need to be getting speed
on a free transfer and this, that, and the other, and God knows.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely won't be the only ones after him. But if we're in the Premier League, we're a definite option for him to go. I'll come back. I'll get game time. I clearly love it there. And then you can't moan if they then move on to somebody else and bigger. But a bit like, if we get promoted and we do really well, stay up, and Bellingham and Rigg are both sought after, you can't blame them for going and moving on, especially if, say, Real Madrid come in and go, hang on, you're better than your brother. Like, that's gone for you. I'll quickly move on, so where time is ticking away for us there. QPR.
Yes.
Potential banana skin or an easy 3 points?
Another potential banana skin in it. Like I've been seeing in my review videos, but I've just been prepping the preview video as well. It's one of them where if you're similar to Oxford, if your head's not in the game and you get a bit complacent, it bites you on the arse and you get beat. Simple as that. And they're not as bad as what you might think. Another second off bottom. They haven't won in 9 games, but they've got a draw at Burnley at the weekend. So that's going to give them a little bit of confidence as well. I think they drew with Coventry the week before that. So they're not a bad side. And from what I'm looking at their squad, they're a little bit similar to what we were last year. They've signed a lot of players who haven't played in the Championship and they're still trying to get adapted, like when we signed Barn, Sheesh and all them, similar type of thing. So it's not going to be an easy game, Only if Jack Colback gets sent off, of course.
Oh, that's the dream, isn't it? Or Hume 2-foots him again within a few minutes of the game or something there. So yeah, I don't. Do I have your prediction? Let me have a look here. I just double check my notes. I have to Google it. I don't. So what's your prediction score wise?
I think it's going to be a really, really tough game. I will be happy for a point, but if we go down there and we play our game and we can keep their best players like Ilias Chair and that quiet, I think I'm going to go for hard-fought 2-0.
2-0. Brilliant. That's the same as Terry as well. Terry's gone 2-0. Philly's gone 3-0. Emma's gone for the tactical 2-2 just to make sure we do win. And I've got 1-0. So I just need Mike and Jacobs there. I think you are top of our predictions league currently as well, actually. I haven't updated it since the Oxford one, but I'm sure you're still top at this point. So
should have been putting money on them.
I know, exactly. If only. Pretty much all we've got time for. Just before we go, if you are watching on YouTube, you might see in the top corner, which is either that way or that way, depending on how my camera's formatted. Retro Hub's logo is in there. They are sponsoring our channel and our extra times. They've got some absolutely fabulous gear on there. I've got an image here of my lovely mouse mat that I have there. Wayne is currently showing his, look at that. What a beauty that is there. The Vaux mug that he's got from them as well. We did recently have a competition for the giant Chris Rigg cushion as well, which if you want a size comparison to my desk, it is giant. It is absolutely giant. So, if you check it out, links in the description there as well on Spotify and on YouTube. So go and check him out. He's a massive Sunderland fan, and he's been helping us out a lot as well with our setup. So go and show him some love and see what you can get. If you use the code SAFC Fan TV in the checkout, you get 10% off as well. So head on over there as well. I can't remember what else I was going to say, though, apart from lovely Retro Hub stuff.
Lovely Retro
I'll remember when we finish, but that's no good.
To be fair, anyway. Just on that, the quality of the stuff is really good. I've got the desk protector off last.
Oh yes,
the waist strip. I got that, and I got the coaster as well. I got them both, and it is really good quality stuff. Like it's cracking to bang on.
It is. It's really helped my set. Like there was a bit of me that was like, oh, my room's a bit of this, it's a bit of that, and now it's really sort of helped. Right, I want this. Like I want my Sunderland gear on this, and I want that here, and it's really sort of brought it in together. So, but there's other clubs as well. Not that we're bothered about them bit, but if you know any friends support other teams and you want to get them something nice, Christmas is coming. Yeah. There you go. Exactly. Right. Well, thank you for showing up, Wayne. I don't want to take up too much of your time this evening. We'll get this out on Thursday. So if you're listening to this on Thursday, I did it. It was a success. So do you want to say goodbyes to everyone?
Yeah, that's it. It's a pleasure to be on. Always nice to come on and talk about something for half an hour or so. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 10,000, and I think we've got 9,820. I think last time I looked.
Yeah, something like that. So we're not far off.
We're getting there. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll be very much appreciated. But thanks for watching.
No worries, and I echo exactly what Wayne says, and I hope you all have a good week, and we'll see you for our live stream on Saturday of QPR versus Sunderland. So we'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Bye.